Well, now we're at the lodges here at Annapurna Base Camp, 4,130 meters. And now the trick is to get to the base of the wall where we're going to start our climbing. And the way that we do that is we have to go down the steep angled slope that is just off the edge of the lodges here, just down in the moraine. It's about 100 meters down till we get to the bottom of the glacier. We've got to traverse the bottom of the glacier all the way to the other side. Once we get down to the glacier, it's covered with rocks, and from here it doesn't even look like ice, but when you get in amongst the rocks and the rubble down on top of the ice, you can see that there's big caves and caverns and small rivers. Then we get over to the other side of the glacier, and we have what we call the dirt wall, which is a 100-meter high wall of dirt that's constantly raining rocks down on top of us. And if you could hear right now behind me, you could hear the constant falling of rocks, of dirt coming down, of ice coming down. It's pretty noisy once you get over to the other side, but we found a pretty safe way up the center of it. And we go up about 100 meters or 300 feet up that to this flat plateau. And some of the expeditions in the past have had their base camp over there, and we might set up our base camp over there as well once all of the expedition members get here. Once Oria and Inaki and the Russians get here, we might move from the lodges over to that area because it's a lot closer to the wall. It takes about 3 hours to get over to that place, and then from there, that's flat spot, we traverse the black cliffs that you can see behind me, and on a gentle snow slope, which was easier last time I was here because it's all grass, but now because it's covered in ice and snow, it's significantly more dangerous. And yesterday when I was going up to the Camp 1 spot, I had to wear my crampons and use my ice axes on the grass because it was so treacherous doing that traverse. And once we get across the traverse of the grass, we have to negotiate a couple of cuts really high up, and then making a final traverse around Tharpachuli, about 500 meters straight up, right before the ice fall that you can see behind me in the background. And then once we get to the top of that, we call it the depot. It's about 5,000 meters high. And from that depot, that's the last place that we touch solid ground for a long time. From there on, over to the base of the wall, at 6,200 meters, it's crossing the ice fall. It gets pretty dangerous from there. I've got a camp set up at 5,100 meters right now, and we're using that as a depot. And after Inaki and Oria arrive today, we'll probably take a couple of runs up there and supply the depot so that we'll get in position for good weather to make the bottom of the wall.